but it's only good for 1 kill apiece. 3v3 situation. The HP is still low on some of these players on the side of OG, but this is a tough retake now, and it gets even harder when Power is eliminated in such a fashion. Jerry and Almazur remain. Issa is playing on the stairs, and he finds an instant headshot. That will likely seal the deal here. Almazur probably wants to recover at least an AK, but Issa just presses on forward and takes him down as well. Very good 3K round from him.
And this is where, Maui, I think Forze's strengths really start to show themselves, in the sense that they're very strong at understanding when to aggress and when to back off on an individual level because of the experience they have on the map on their CT side. You know, in a lot of rounds against other teams, you see Jerry knowing exactly when to get aggressive on outside. You know, when Power has to go through and get outside control with his AWP. Jerry now, he's moved back in towards Secret. He understands when he can do it. That's one of the really strong things that they have by having it as one of their home maps. Now, NBK fell. Not 100% sure how that was. Can't see the X. Oh, actually, this was just a straight up outside duel. Okay. Meanwhile, Power making sure there's no one on silo, so that Jerry, if he wants to get out aggressively, he can indeed choose to do so. Zai will really popularize this angle from Jerry.
Yeah,
and that comes the execute.
Yeah, good smokes. A one-way, though, coming out also to secure that position. Jerry will have a very easy time if they actually decide to peek him, unless they can spam him. But with his silence M4, it's so hard if you're on the tees to try to trade that. Nade, thankfully for OG, does not connect, but they will molly Jerry out of that position. He will have to fall now. And FaceCrack, playing close with the Mag-7, is able to take down a lurking Alexi B. That molly does somehow spread to Jerry. I'm not sure if he was forced forward or what, but Valde will try to retake lobby, and this looks like a hopeless affair, but maybe not, as he finds one. But Flit is right there behind him. And you know, when Flit's right there, if Flit's baiting, yeah, he's gonna take him down. Like, yeah, that's just a sure thing. This player is so good. One of the X factors for Forza in any game, when the game plan isn't going accordingly, sometimes it's just a Flit round out of nowhere. Not necessarily the case in this round prior, but I mean, you can always depend on this guy.
Yeah, you pull out the bat signal, and instead of the bat bound, Flit just comes through. Basically what it is.
Yeah, that's what Forza do.
Oh, great shot from Power though. Jerry's here as well, fighting it all up. He knows he wants to stay aggressive to make sure Power can't be overwhelmed, but Power is overwhelming. As Alexi B will be left alone, and alone he will die. All 5 players kept alive. Excellent eco round, anti-eco round from Forza, where they pad up the money, and I think with one more, which OG should probably be going for a half by here, but with one more like that, Forza probably end up having enough money for the rest of the half.
Yeah, just 3 more rounds here. I don't know if I would say they have the enough for the rest of the half. They have enough for the next round, but the round after might get spicy if they lose all their players. It'll be close depending how many guns they keep alive and the result.
Yeah, I think they have to have at least 3 over here.
Yeah, if they have 3 alive, they will have enough money, I think. But OG on the back foot won't opt for a buy. They could have justified that. There definitely was a world in which they could have done that. They had 4,000 on quite a few other players, but they'll just be going for the half buy here. They're comfortable with their 7 rounds, think that they actually have more game to be played, and they would like to just have a complete buy moving forward. This is kind of more of a call you would go for in a scrim, where you just want to run your full exec, and maybe OG just really trusts their utility. FaceCrack will be dueling against Alexi B, and Alexi B comes out on top. Maybe they just trust their Tech 9s, and it will find them a couple kills early on here. Scaling onto the bomb site, they will trade out yet another, so it's a 2v2 situation. Power takes down Valde, leaving just NBK with a deagle, and a beautiful nade from Flit takes him down to close things out. Forza, they win the round, and now I would say they have enough for the rest, but
I don't think so.
It'll be a little hairy. It'll be a little hairy, but it's it'll be like FaceCrack maybe on an MP9 in the next round. So
I don't know how many incendiaries they have. That's my only problem. Now, actually, you know, if you don't get head armor, if you don't get kits, but they're almost there at the very least. Flashbangs go through. Alexi B looking to make things a little bit fast-paced. Montu as well, trying to creep into Hut, but the first kill goes the way of Face Crack. Issa trades, but Alexi Power will one-up even that. Issa still continuing through. Almazer as the anchor will win out 3 consecutive duels. Almazer's an incredible A-side anchor.
Yeah, he doesn't usually light up the scoreboard. In fact, he only had 3 kills before that round. He was 3-9, but that sometimes just happens when they don't necessarily challenge you in a standard fashion. Almazer, like you mentioned, he is a very good anchor on that site. It's just that when you're an anchor, you either are, kind of getting them all or having to rotate, and you're always in a bad position to help out anywhere else. Lexi B wants to throw this smoke again to try to give himself a little bit of a peek. Xe Power looking for a peek of his own, but he'll be challenged, and Flit walks right into the crosshair of NBK. OG, once again, coming out ahead on the default. This is what they were doing for the entire beginning of this half. They've been a little bit quiet since then, but this round looks pretty explosive this time around. Almazer and Jerry, they do have good utility and good weaponry here, but they are split apart. Jerry, challenges the angle pretty dry there. The molly falls at his feet. Alexi B is able to find the trade with a well-pieced Molotov, and it's just Almazer that remains.
This is where he's not always the strongest in the world. And this is kind of the problem with Almazer's statistics, in my opinion, is that very few teams will consistently go for standard A-side hits. I think where the strength of an anchor usually shows itself on maps like Mirage, on maps like even Dust 2 to some extent, is that the strength of an anchor shows itself in very standard duels that you'll have to take. You very rarely will have to rotate over unless you're the B-side anchor, in which case you're a late rotator anyway. So in a situation like that, you generally get to see a lot more from them. Nuke, though, this is the most roundabout map there is in terms of how the T side would like to hit it. Almost, you'll at most see 2 or 3 rounds in an entire half from a T side where they're actually giving it a standard A side hit. Otherwise, you'll see them going for outside control, getting heaven, getting mini, getting one angle after the other, and then they haven't lost all their players by then they actually go for the A side hit. But when they go for something more standard, you can see Almazer is there to defend really nicely in that round. And unfortunately, the round after that just can't come through.
Yeah, OG win out the half, as they generally do on Nuke, but it's CT side where they have their difficulties, and Forza, they actually have a pretty thorough playbook on this map, so it'll be tough for OG to try to contend with it, but if all they hit shots like that, maybe things will be a little bit easier. Jerry, though, finds a trade all the way in hell, and Montu, all the way pushed back here at CT spawn, will have some opportunities, but he doesn't connect with the shots. Flit is able to take down Valde, that ramp player, and the charge towards CT works out in favor of the Forza side. NBK with a long duel. This is not usually a fight you see on a pistol round, and it's Issa that continues it, but Forza at this point can mid-round perfectly. They know where the final 2 members of OG are. It's up to them, though, to try to retake.
Bomb is planted, NBK is left alone, 1 versus 3. Information is there for Almazer as well, but can he find the 3rd player from Dark, who will be his death? Flit with 2 kills that round. Manta with a surprisingly poor pistol round. You generally do see him looking very crisp with the USPs at times, but can't quite bring down the players who are rotating from ramp over towards heaven. And as a result of that, I think if Manta gets a kill or 2 there, they win the round on OG.
Yeah, I kind of, I'm a little surprised too. I usually see Montu pop off on those kinds of rounds, but I think that might speak about how uncomfortable that situation made him. Usually, maybe in a situation he's used to, he'll find a 3K even with a USP, but that's a fight that just kind of getting back all the way into spawn with a USP, it's just some confusing angles, and crosshair placement wasn't quite there for him, as it usually needs to be for USPs to succeed. This time, though, we'll see what Forza have in store for us. They already took control of Secret. Facecrack, though, he doesn't seem too interested in going down. He actually will just kind of be flirting with the angle here. Valde will be the one to contest. This is a great off angle, usually good for 2 kills. Valde will find 1. Montu does as well. Montu with a 2nd, actually, and NBK will try to continue. I don't think they know exactly where Montu headed off to, but this is looking like a very good round for OG. But Facecrack, he might have a chance here to bring it back, but the cost of his teammate's life. Issa continues on forward with a nice deagle headshot, and he gets that MP5 away from himself. He says, Almazur, why are you even buying this gun? No one buys this gun at the top pro level.
I think Forze is the only team that does, actually.
I don't really see people buy it. It's really bad. It's a bad gun.
It's also not that
really
good on
inaccurate.
long range, which you think it would be.
No, it's so inaccurate.
Exactly, because the silencer guns, that's the kind of the entire point. We're good at long range, but no, it's terrible.
Yeah. It's one of those things where, well, we'll see how this round goes. Ooh, good nade stack on an exit power. Gets him down to 1 HP. I feel like OG should clean this one up, but we'll watch and see. Montu taking down exit power off of that good nade stack. Makes it very easy for him. But yeah, as you can see, you'll see right here, if we just watch NBK, he will be trying to snipe this guy on top of Mini. It's just not even possible with the MP5 at times. Like, it literally is just not accurate enough to fight at that distance effectively. NBK does get taken down finally, and you know, get that MP5 out of this game. I'm gonna just say it. Like, no, I don't want to see anyone use that anymore. You'll see players have perfect crosshair placement, a very good peek, and then just won't be able to find anything. But Almazur, he's able to find something. A nice headshot there for him. Will he be able to inflict more damage, though? It would be excellent if he could find 1 or 2 more kills. But Issa, with the big flank on top of the Twinkie outside, does take him down. He jumps down to Mini as well. And just to continue with that, I think we'll be seeing a full anti-eco here. Yeah, that MP5 is just... It's exactly what you say. It's kind of like you hold it and you feel like, oh, dude, it's got a silencer. Like, it should be an accurate SMG, but it's really just not. It's just it's so inaccurate. And when you run, it's like as bad as a rifle running around, which SMGs, it's usually the whole point of the gun is that you can run and gun with it. But the MP5 is so inaccurate. Stop using it, please.
Well, right now it's Issa to come down and try rain down, but it's not going to work. Alexi B and Montu instead will be the ones to clean things up, as Jerry will find one, picks up an M4 as well, switches back to the ye old faithful, good old Tech 9, where he decides, if I'm going to die, I'm going to die with a friend. And that friend is his Tech 9. 11-8. Good anti-eco from OG. They keep a couple of players alive, just enough to keep building up a bit of an economical base. Not quite that 4-man alive, 5-man alive, but listen, 3 is, it's all right. You can live with it.
Yeah, it's okay. It won't allow them to actually pick up an op without investing too much money. But finally, Forza go for a little bit more of an eco, but they still will invest into it. But that is being stopped by players like Montu, who spray through the smoke there, take down Flit. The rotation is already out towards lower. Alexi B has already made his way into this back hall right here, and all 4 of the remaining Forza members are right here. They decide not to challenge him, though, and it will be Montu again with another opportunity to find a great round for himself, just kind of spraying a wall. Montu kind of scattered right now in this position, but his teammates are there and ready to help him out. 3 members remain. I think Forza at this point just want to do a little bit of economic damage. I don't think they're really thinking about the win condition in this round too much, as OG is approaching them from so many angles. It'd be nice if they find 1, but they don't even get a single player beneath 50 HP.
That was really nice awareness from Montu after he threw the first Molotov. That wasn't a random spray. The reason why he sprayed that early on, a bit towards the left side, is also because he realizes that the Molotov doesn't actually stop the first player with the best spawn from getting past when the smoke is bloomed already. So, because of that, you see him spray down over there. Otherwise, normally, what you're going to see is after that Molotov is thrown, the spray comes out behind, and you're more careful for a boost to come out on top of red container, because that's generally the counter player to being mollied off, where you've got 5 seconds and you're trying to do something or the other with it. Because otherwise, if you're just not really moving, if you're not doing anything, you will be naded down right after the Molotov fades. And as a result of that, Montu is able to get 1 really good kill.
Slower approach from Forza this time around. A little bit of damage early on inflicted. Alexi B, he is kind of a master of this door. He's plays it on the T side and the CT side. Does a great job on both ends as he plays around just so many of the angles so well, even silently dropping off of Tetris right there. As Forza, they probably think he's on top, but he'll go for a little bit of spray, decides to not continue it, and Jerry will stay alive and pretty healthy. But a gap in those smokes will give OG a lot of information and it will probably tell them that this is likely to be an A hit of sorts. You can see Alexi B was kind of thinking about going down, but because one of his teammates was able to alert him to the fact that only a single player crossed, he knows that it probably will be a site at, or a hit at his bomb site.
Flashbang goes in. Great timing from Alexi B. Gets himself 2 kills and backs off to safety. Not re-peeking either. And with the smoke behind him, he knows he's got safety. Although safety is temporary, NBK and Asa will be his big brothers to back him up. 8 seconds left on the clock. Face Crack is going to have to save. Forze, you know, okay, if he gets 1 kill, lovely. Now he can save.
That was so sick from Alexi D. That flash timing was perfect. That was actually really nice. Just right in the faces of these players. If he had an M4, I bet you he gets the 3rd as well. I think he could have just continued the spray a little bit better, and he could have probably swung. I don't know if Almazar got full blind back there, but I think there's a good chance he would have picked up all 3. A highlight round from Alexi B, and it will lead to a Forza timeout. Both of these teams have now used 2 timeouts apiece, and Forza do need to rethink their strategy just a little bit here. It's been a pretty silent T-side for them. They've only picked up a single round. OG looking like a much stronger CT side team on Nuke than history may have shown. And it's at a great time because Forza, you know, this is a map that I think many people, when they look at the numbers, probably would have favored Forza on. I don't know if everyone would have favored Forza in the entire series, but this map is generally one that they do very consistently well on.
Yeah. I have something to ask about that flashbang, so I will ask afterwards. I noticed something interesting, but I'm not 100% sure about it. However, until that comes around, take a look at Asa, because he's come through lobby, gone all the way up onto terrace roof, found a kill, and then fallen as well. In very typical Asa fashion, when he goes for early aggression, he gets the information, he gets the kill, but sometimes he does end up going down immediately after that. His job is done, though, and now it's up to his teammates to try and mop things up. NBK now also knows exactly where most of their plays are. Is he going to be rotating over? No, he's not, and that's why Flit is able to take him down. Flit, after clearing out many, just an easy process of elimination. Now Alexi B has to anchor the site perfectly. We'll be seeing them coming out in front of him. Jerry with the Tech 9 comes out on top. And with Alexi B falling, Valde and Mantu might want to save over here. Their positioning is generally pretty poor for a retake. And I would not mind seeing them just say, let's back off, reconvene, figure it out. NBK and Alexi B don't have much money anyway. We can drop them in the next round. It's all good.
Right. Some cracks being shown in the OG defense. That angle from NBK is very strong for an AWP or an AUG, that kind of crouch behind the stairs one, but you don't really see it with an M4, and he loses his life because of it. What was the flash you were mentioning?
Right, so when Alexi B threw the flashbang.
Which oh, the right-click flash?
Yes, the right-click flash.
Oh, okay.
The thing about that one is, I'm 90% sure he threw it right as the flashes popped behind him. Now, if that's the case, and another thing just to add to the viewers is that right-click flash is a lot harder to time than you might think. Because if I am right, if you don't time it according to when the flashes of the terrorist side pop, they will hear you throwing it. Because of the close proximity that you're in, and a flashbang being thrown is audible. So I don't know if he timed it with that or if Forza just didn't hear it.
I think it was just a little bit lucky, but I think you also have to consider that the comms of Forza are like, during an exec, are not just dead silent by any means. There's no way that they're just like throwing nades in complete silence. And the sound of a flashbang, yeah, it's audible when you're, you know, in a 2v2 or like a 3v3, but when it's like a 5v5 situation, it's so hard to be like, just like hear that one little noise because it can... You know, it's just like people don't have perfect hearing. And
of course.
It's yeah, if they were perfect and they would have heard it, I think maybe the guy in the back would have got maybe not blind. The guy in the front would have been able to turn, but the guy in the back probably would have gotten blind. I think it was Exi Power who was the second that died. Like, it would have had been communicated instantly by the entry fragger there, who I think was Face Crack. He's just like, he's flashing, turn. It's like that kind of calm is just so hard to bust out in those kind of moments. So even if he did, like, it would have been hard. Okay, looks like this is being match medicked for some reason here. I'm not sure what happened, but
Forze had a player disconnecting.
Oh yeah, okay, so okay.
Well,
that being said, it's kind of like there's so many nades also popping too. I agree that like it's kind of like right when the T's threw his flash, he threw his, but it's also like that frequently can happen when you're anchoring a bomb site. It's just like you throw that one flash and like they're trying to approach, and if you throw a good right click one when their nades are coming out, you can just get kind of lucky with it.
Well, you know, let me do what Sponge does and make the pros out to be a little bit more next level than always they are sometimes. I remember when he accidentally taught me, actually no, that's for another time. He NBK almost getting tricky with Face Crack, as he does manage to come down secret. NBK, oh, that's a great kill to find on the flit. That actually allows them to have a lot more information. You should be expecting rotation to come through from OG, as Valde. He's actually got Montu coming in right behind him with the AWP. So Face Crack, I'd be very surprised if he's able to get more than one kill, but that is where potentially Alexi B can step up, as he has gotten very aggressive with another player. It's Issa to be moving forward. They clear out all the angles. And where are they going to go? Alexi B has just escorted his player forward. Issa's got a great angle where he can flank around Squeaky if it comes down to it as well. And he hears them all coming through, and that's when the flank begins. Alexi just has to buy time for it. Issa finds one that's a bomb that's been dropped as well. Alexi now has a perfect crossfire across NBK himself and Issa. And now Face Crack and Almaza bring it back to a 2v3. But with 25 seconds left on the clock without possession of the bomb, this seems impossible for them to be able to get something out. Almaza does take down Alexi B, and Face Crack is coming up ramp. So that should maybe be able to secure them something. But Issa's positioning is impeccable at this point. He's isolated these duels nicely, gets the one, and the second will be too late. It's a 1v1, and where is Valde? Valde actually won't be there on time, but I don't think it's planted. No, it's not. Oh,
so close. That was really, I wasn't sure. I really wasn't sure. And oof, that's a rough way to lose a round. Bomb just not with the rest of the team there. And OG a little bit lucky on the timing there. You know, I almost feel like if you just had perfect movement after picking it up, like you just counter-strafe the millisecond you get it, the tick in the server you get it, and just beeline it to the site, you know, that would have been the difference. It's like just the slimmest of margins, though, that OG is able to pick that one up. But they'll be thankful about it, and Montu, he only needs a sliver. He needs the tiniest of angles to find that kill onto XZ Power. And he's able to take down that opposing Opper very cleanly. No one going for the trade just yet, but Forza will continue to scale outside. I think they might be going for a little bit of a gimmicky play here, as Face Crack kind of moves right around the smoke here. He's looking for an entry into A. NBK playing nicely in mini, and Face Crack, this smoke will be fading. Who will see who first? It's going to be Face Crack that comes out on top. That is a big kill for Forza. They really needed that, because now it's a 4v4 situation, and they are looking to convert.
Issa. Watch out for, oh man, Alexi. This is really troubling for the CT side, where you don't have much information. You can see Montu's getting aggressive on outside because of it. He knows he needs to reposition to make sure that at least mini is completely covered off by him. Otherwise, A side is too much of a heavy pincer. He's got the info. They've dropped down, and it's time for them to go to mini. It seems like Montu will be able to get one. Can he now move forward, as Issa has already fallen? Alexi B is overwhelmed. He doesn't know which side to look at. It's a 2v3 where Montu would circle around to play from heaven instead. Valde as well, coming in from the back lines. He has to be the one to make the first move, find a few kills. Valde, can he finish this one off? Can't quite get the spray. Jerry repositions and wins out that duel. Montu will be next to fall. And that's where Montu, if he'd been able to get that first kill on the player on top of Mini, maybe Isa and Alexi B can reposition, be less afraid of Mini itself. But because they're both squeezed behind the bomb side, it's just so incredibly difficult for them to get anything done.
Yeah, that's the second time also Alexi B has tried playing just kind of tucked into that silo right there, and neither time has he found any kills. In fact, both times have just been a very clean entry onto him. The little bit of the bait there with Isa peeking out wide, it was a good idea in theory, but you're always just going to clear behind that silo, really. Like, it's just, you naturally just have to, just to literally run over there. But a very good nade early on here as OG go for kind of a half force. This is a little bit weird where their money is right now. You don't usually see teams put themselves at around $1,000, but maybe it's to set themselves up for the next actual gun round. They have a 4-round lead right now, and because of that, they can just buy down to a number like this. Ooh, Montu, he gets aggressive, does find a tag, but not a kill. So OG will have to try to play off of that. They go for a lobby crunch, in fact. Jerry is on top of T roof still. He hears all of this happening, but does he hear the escape as well? He may think that lobby is compromised, and that might force the hand of Forze into a position that they might not expect so many players here. In fact, it's a great setup from OG here, and it allows NBK to find a kill. There's a gap in this smoke right now. NBK sprays through it, and he's able to pick up another. Jerry, though, on the flank, does take down NBK, and it's just Alexi B in a 1v3. Nothing but a CZ and a flash, and, oh, that might just be enough. He finds one, but Jerry, quick to swing, quick to trade, and Forza pick up their 11th.
Really? Well, I mean, I guess OG's loss bonus is pretty poor, so they knew they have to sort of double eco anyhow, so...
Yeah, that's exactly why I like that they bought down to 1,000, so that, like, if they full bot like a lot of teams do, then their next gun round is like 4,400. Yeah. So this time they just full save here like they normally would, and their next real gun round will have pretty much all the full utility they want, except for Isa, who did buy a deagle and maybe didn't get the memo.
Split moves in, nice shot onto Alexi B to start things off, opens up the A side completely, but he doesn't want to check behind the corner. He wants to keep getting kills, and unfortunately he will be punished. Asa and Valde finding one apiece once again. Maybe more kills than they would like. Valde will take down Exi Power as Asa has sort of been baited a little bit, but it's now a 1 versus 1 with Valde being in possession of a Mac 10. Unfortunately, it's on an AK-47. But it's very doable for him at the very least. If Almaza makes an incorrect read, Valde's already found his way through. Almaza playing from inside the lobby. Will be circling around towards Squeaky. He will actually see Valde, but Valde's managed to creep right past Almaza. Does he realize it? And even if he doesn't realize it, will it matter? Valde looking for a gun maybe. He does pick up the AK-47. Taps the bomb. If he can get this kill, it would be huge. He does it. Valde always there with the clutches, but I don't know if he has enough time for the bomb defuse. This one will be really close.
Oh, I think he's got it. It is very close, though, but... just in the nick of time, he gets it. It was so close. Wow, there's been 2 rounds here where the timing has just been milliseconds in favor of OG. That being another one right there. That is...
Oh man, that's insane.
That's just crazy. That's so well played though from Valde there. Just reading that perfectly and giving himself just the perfect amount of time. That I kind of can't believe it actually.
Yeah.
It was actually not even poorly played from Almazer, because he peeked. If like he almost counted it. If he did count it, like he probably thought, okay, I got it. Like almost, you know. It's just Valde just barely catching him in the nick of time. OG, though, will have 4 map points here. The deep outside smokes come out. This will allow Facecrack to slot himself into Big Garage. I think because he hears NBK, he knows that this should be an available position for himself, though, so he's able to lurk on in. Forza, on the other hand, not too interested in supporting their outside teammate. They will be headed towards ramp, where Valde, who just had a very nice round, will have to get another, but he only finds that single frag right there. Not oftentimes what you can allow as the ramp player, because now so much ground is gained from Forza, especially with that kill. Facecrack taking down NBK. Jerry finds the trade on to Alexi B, 3v2 situation, and things were falling apart for OG, but Issa might be able to correct it. He actually takes down Exi Power as well and brings us to a 1v1 out of nowhere. And it's just Almazer. He lost the last clutch, but this time he is faced off against an op. I wonder if he decides to play this one a little bit differently.
I mean, he has to redeem himself at this stage, but he's not going to be able to do so. OG off the back of 2 incredible 1v1s where they seem like they'd lost the absolute advantage. They will be able to come out on top. And I said it in the beginning, Maui. I said that I think OG can take it away with some individuals showing up. And although things have changed in the past 2 months, OG looked a lot more comfortable. If they don't get those 2 1v1s, their money looks completely different. Their opportunities are completely different. Forza maybe has a way to come back into it. There were at least 3 pivotal rounds where it seemed like the clutches had to go their way. It was this one, the Valde one, obviously, and then the really weird bomb plant.
Yeah. We'll be heading now, though, to OG's map pick. They were able to steal that one away from Forza off of some great individual plays, clutches, performances, as you mentioned. So stay tuned, and we'll see the results of this series as it continues.
And we're back, Forze versus OG, the 9th round to begin things off. For Train, we weren't very impressed by OG when we saw it earlier on in the day, but the question is, can they change things around, make it a little bit better as we head forward? Maui, I am one with mixed feelings. I think that Forze should be the one winning this one out. I think this should go to 3 maps, but you might have something different to say, maybe?
I just think that OG right now are playing on an individual level that will be hard for Forza to match across the board. That being said, I think there's a great shot. We will be headed to Inferno, which is the decider. But you know, wait, who won the knife? Sorry, not. Oh well.
Well, it's okay. We'll find out eventually.
Yeah, I think OG actually did, but
yeah.
not 100% certain. OG, yeah.
Yeah,
So OG took it, and they had a very good CT side, and I think that might give them the start that they need. I think that this is kind of like the big contributing factor to the likelihood of them just closing it out in 2, because we saw that their CT side of Train is very hard to deal with once they get rolling and start having some money, and even busting out the auto sniper was Alexi B. If Forza can keep the pressure on OG, it may be difficult for them to look as dominant as they did earlier today against Kova. But that being said, I think Forza are much better than Kova.
I don't know. That is a... Oh, I think you're getting a bit toxic here.
It's a bold take, I know.
It's a very bold take. Let's see whether or not it comes in. Maui, you could be the analyst of the year for going with that one. But we'll have to see. XC Power on the P250, whether or not he can take any long-range deals to impress us and validate that purchase. Balde and Mantu playing from the back of B. Very defensive posturing, as lots of glass will be shattered. Jerry is here to cause some damage, and even if he can't plant the bomb, at the very least, he can cause repair damages to come into play. That's exactly why the CT side money is so expensive. They have to be taxed and flit. You know what? He pays some tax of his own, and that is his life that's been lost. NBK to finish him off. Issa does scout out a couple of players. Alexi B in the meanwhile finding another who was really good in that first map. Can he do the same over here as Issa finds 2? All 5 players kept alive, and I think 3 of them actually move forward without taking a single point of damage, so Valde and Mantu can buy up that head armor for only $350.
Yeah, that's nice to see. NBK probably could have gotten away with 100 HP in that round too, but a little bit slow to find that kill. But Issa, that was a very good hold there at ladder. And good utility already coming out for OG. This is what's so scary if you're Forza. Usually on the T side pistol for nuke, all you want to do is find that bomb plant. That's actually, I feel like, how the modern meta is kind of arrived at. That's why there's just really so many B hits now, because it's so hard to stop that kind of plant. Because you want to put so much more pressure in this round so that the CT side economy can't solidify, and give yourself an option in the second round to buy Galils and AKs and at least Deagles if you don't want to go for the full investment, keep their money low. But now this should be a farm for OG. They should be harvesting their Russian crops in this round.
Just the idea of OG going to Russia just to start harvesting some crops. It's so absurd. Issa finds Almaza, takes him down. He's still going to be hunting Alexi B. Just think of Alexi B with that, Russian scarf around his head. Bent over, with his back hurting as he's trying to get some wheat.
Oh no, Alexi B is actually, I don't want to go there.
Yeah, definitely not. Definitely not. I know where you were going.
I don't need to go a little bit deeper into the farming imagery. He's doing a great job, and let's just say this, he would probably just use machines and let them do the dirty work. Like, he could just, sit in the big tractor and just kind of like let it all happen. Yeah. Which is probably the most effective strategy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Montu getting very aggressive early on. He was actually able to upgrade to the AWP. Even though he didn't die in the previous round, he just upgraded it. And Issa, early kill onto Exy Power. But will they expect Almazur up close and personal? They do not, but NBK somehow is able to react there, and that's a 5v3 advantage taken very early on for OG.
OG just sent all 5 players to his A. 2 of them went aggressively outside of Ivy, and 2 of them took aggressive control in T-Con. Now they've got 3 players on B because they're relying on Forze to be playing that very slow style where if they're going towards B, they'll take a while. They won't just rush down. What a read coming out from Alexi B.
Yeah, it gets his team off to a very hot start here.
Oh.
Issa is going to be feeling a little bit hot because of that molly, but it doesn't actually connect with him here. This is still looking very dire for Forze.
Base crack, can't even totem drop down. Jerry's too far away. He's got to win the duel straight up. Issa even gets a headshot. Valde comes in from this side and said, thanks for doing the dirty work for me, Issa. I appreciate you. You know that. In the meanwhile, they've got 2 AKs taken forward. Alexi is really hoping to find that third if he can take down Jerry. But that just seems like an inevitability. Jerry could save into the next round, but I wouldn't really advise not having any money. It would be a bit difficult unless they're intending to force buy yet again, which in itself I would not advise either, in all fairness. But with 12 seconds on the clock, Jerry might just be forced to save at this point. 5 seconds. Are they going to be looking to hunt him after time? Don't think that should be the case. And indeed, Jerry will just save into the next round, try and get something done with the hero AK.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you there. It's usually, I mean, in around this early in a half, when it's not really that dire yet, it's kind of okay to just kind of give your life up there, make sure that your team is on level economy. Because now in the next round, Jerry will be what, on a deagle, some utility. You can work with it, but it just makes things a little bit more difficult, makes things a little bit harder. And unless you have some kind of set plan for this AK, it will be difficult to involve it. Oh, that's a nice way to get it involved, just kind of reading the position from Issa that he's been playing time and time again, and gets a lot of great damage. It's a shame that no nade connected to follow up with that, because that easily could have been an opening pick for Forza there. And it will make the op change hands, actually. Montu gives it up for Issa. I haven't been actually super impressed with Montu's rifling yet today. So this might actually give a sort of opening for Forza. Maybe some whiff shots that would not usually come out due to the switch in weaponry. We'll see.
Well, Montu's playing a very close range angle on B side, Maui, so it's hard to miss over there.
Yeah, this is also one of the most dominant positions on the map. Makes B so hard to take because it pretty much destroys anybody coming out that lower ramp. But what will make it even harder for Forza is the fact that NBK is already on the flank, and he's gathering so much information here. We can see that the OG defense is already completely fortified here. There's 4 players on B.
Yeah, this is pretty good. Valde's got himself that one. Montu and Alexi B chiming in with a bit more. Montu now pulls out the USB to finish everything off. And there you have it. AK-47 saved forward. They don't take the AWP into the next round, so investment will be a little bit heavier than they'd like. But listen, man, NBK with his timings on the push coming through from Ivy, that's amazing to see. Like every single time, he knows exactly when to get aggressive. Now, I firmly believe he will be punished for it eventually. But at this point, what happened in pistol round happened in anti-force fire round, happened in the anti-gun round too, and now in the 4th round as well. So if you've got 4 rounds off the back of it, hell, get punished once. I don't care. It's fine.
Yeah.
Montu.
It's forced off the angle, actually.
Yeah.
Good utility coming out from Forza here to take some map control away from OG. This is probably the first time I haven't seen them with space, but right when I say that, right on cue, Alexi B recognizes that they don't have T-Con control and says, hey, wait a second. This is our property. And he gets flashed on in, takes out Flit early on, who's having a uncharacteristically slow start. Usually he's that Forza player that just kind of gets them on the board, you know, maybe gets a 2K, 3K, and gets them somewhere. But we'll see if the win condition changes hands here. Almazur will be flashed on forward. Oh, no, a smoke, actually, to try to give him some position. But he'll just post up at Ivy right now. This is looking a little bit dire for Forza here. They don't really have any great map control. And I think OG should be able to read that. This is probably just going to be ending up as a B hit once again. We'll see, though. Maybe they have some other kind of read in store.
Yeah, that's a huge kill to find as well. But they get Valde down at the very least. Almazer adds another as well. XC Power, if he can just find one kill before getting the bomb plant down, maybe he had a chance, but the frags just come in so quickly, and OG, they're not giving up anything. When Forza tries to speed things up, they just are more than happy to welcome that change. And Forza now going for it. This is so difficult. The timeout is going to be very, very needed, but down 0-5 where your money's not great either. And I have to say a little bit of that does go back to the fact that Jerry did save the AK-47. At least I'd like to believe so. Their money's slightly more off than you would expect it to be if they'd just gone for a more standard eco afterwards and had collectivized economy. But maybe I'd have to do the numbers for that at the very least.
I actually don't think it affects this round, because it's more like they just didn't get a bomb plant and they are all just 30. They just all had a plus 34.
Do you think they would have gone for Deagles anyway if Jerry didn't have the AK? Because that's where I think the difference comes in. I don't think they go for Deagles if Jerry doesn't have an AK. Deagles and armor boat, sorry.
Well, yeah, the investment in the round around Jerry was a little high.
Yeah.
I don't know if they would have had a buy in this round regardless. But they're setting themselves up for a kind of an interesting buy into the upcoming round. They would love to get a bomb plant here, and they might just do that. LXCB doesn't have T-Con control for once in this game, but Issa will shut down that first player coming out. Face crack, the usual entry for Forza, is instantly eliminated. Jerry somehow taking down Valde, who was pushing towards B, and this might be where OG falls apart a little bit here, as they have no one towards B, but thankfully, Forza aren't too interested in going there. They are actually playing all 4 of their remaining members on the CT side at A, and yet Forza isn't recognizing this. Alexi B will move into the smoke and will be taken down. That's a nice pick from Almazer here. And Forza, they still actually haven't taken any ground towards B. OG have still just been gambling that Forza isn't taking B, and it somehow worked out for them. Finally, they will rotate a player over, but Forza, instead of actually heading to B, will head towards Ivy. This is a great read from Forza.
Very smart play. Jerry's here to sell the fake as well. It's all up to Issa to be able to stop them from getting the bomb plant without, at the very least, suffering some casualties. Mantu with that 1 kill equalizes though, and that means NBK has found his way back. They know that the only place they can come from is Ivy, but NBK is so scared about whether or not maybe they were already in Olaf, whether they'd managed to get past Issa. And NBK peeks out wide, gets one, backs off to safety, sees a second, but can't finish him off. Instead, it's up to Issa to do the dirty work. Almazer's position is found out, but in the process, they lose Mantu. Flashbang goes in, and Issa peeking out, sees the player, sees the bomb, and sees his next meal, because he's got himself 3 of those.
Oh, Issa drops the AK and doesn't pick up the op. It's a little, it's unfortunate, but it's not a big deal, all things considered. They had a lot of money, and they will still be able to afford a buy in this round. This was just, OG is playing actually some of the best reactive CT side train I've seen in a while. This is, I mean, they looked very good against Kova. I would have actually slightly attributed that to Kova just kind of not looking very good in general. But now that they're against a stronger opponent, adversary in Forza, they are showing that they actually really know what they're doing on this map. This is very sharp, but Exapower with a very good shot on the NBK will at least be able to find one, but it's not before 2 of his teammates have already fallen. Flit, the man who T-Time has labeled as being maybe better than some of the players that made it in the top 20. Ethan. All right, just Ethan.
Yeah.
Has been taken down in this game, and he still is not off to a great start. Valde playing a very aggressive angle here. Might be able to catch Jerry off, but Jerry goes for a very strong peek. I thought actually Jerry was going to come out on top once he opted for the crouch swing, but Valde just holds his ground, and Issa pushing on forward. This is a suffocating defense from OG. Forza can never feel comfortable. If they lose any space on the map, even if they don't even recognize that there are options available, OG are just taking them away. And Forza have never been able to just show, you know, a standard exec, really. They've never been able to pinch any bomb site simultaneously from multiple angles. On train, you need at least 2, really, to make anything happen. And FaceCrack, he's going to need to make a lot happen here in this 1v4. He flashes right into the smoke. He's pressured from multiple angles at once. He needs to get his team on the board here. I think this is actually a huge clutch if he's able to win it. He takes down Montu, throws the flash to support himself here, and he's actually buying a lot of time for himself, but he might strafe out left just a little too wide. Issa takes him down, and OG are able to clean up. All things considered, that was probably going to be an inevitability, as OG have looked so strong on so many of these rounds, but it really would have been big for him to try to just inspire a little bit of confidence in his team.
I mean, it was really good attempt to. He played it perfectly. The positioning was great and everything. If he just got that second headshot, maybe it's a different weight. But
oh yeah, absolutely. Give himself a little bit more space.
Yeah, exactly. He can strafe to the right. That's the difference. And otherwise, Issa just shoots at his feet and he's dead. Now, though, you still have XC Power. Oh, that's very good pick off for Montu to be able to find over there. Because Montu now follows up, but he misses the shot. That's very unorthodox when you consider his record. And Alexi B now has to do a lot more work because of that very fact. There's so many more angles to worry about. Flitz moved through. Montu's reposition. He knows where Flit is, and Alexi B to take him down. Alexi will swing out wide. Montu steals his kill away, and FaceCrack is yet again left in a 1v4. This A bomb site is impenetrable.
Yeah. The comms for OG are out of control good. Like the way, okay, so that player that was Flit. I thought Flit was actually going to find an opportunity. He walked through the smoke that Alexi B had his back to, and he gave himself so much space, but as soon as one player reacted, they knew exactly where he was. Like, that's not even an easy spot to call. Like, side red between bomb train and red, like I guess you would call that like 4-lane if you're like going back to like really old D train, but like that was just so fast and they reacted perfectly, swinging off of it. Forze, they just can't catch a break at this point. It felt like finally they might have had an opportunity in that round off of Montu missing a shot, Flit finding some interesting ground, but still OG are able to recover beautifully, and I think they only took one casualty. That's incredible.
And now, I mean, Forza, if you don't start winning some ecos, I don't think there's any way you bring it back. NBK, master of Ivy. He's pushed out towards it in the past. This time he just defends it. He will not let anyone cross into his domain as Issa takes down Jerry. And NBK, are you really getting aggressive here, NBK? All right. He's playing the server. We've got a nice little angle. Oh my god!
Wow.
Listen, I don't care what anyone says. NVK is really good at the game. Like, really good.
That's sick. You don't see that very often. AK collaterals like that. That's just perfect timing from him coming out. That nice swing there. You could tell he wanted to get a little bit more involved. He's like, all the other A players are having all the fun. I just am stuck here watching Ivy, which Forza aren't even using. And they finally do go Ivy, and he cleans up house. 4 kills for him. Forza, they just need to change up the formula for themselves in this one. And they haven't even had always the toughest time finding the opening pick. I guess in the last gun round they were able to find it, but can't speak about the others for that matter. This time, I think they just want to center themselves a little bit, go with a tried and true B exec that they're comfortable with. Oh, wow, it's just a contact play off of a single flash. That is not what I expected given the utility that they have. And now that they have this positioning, actually, this could really be the round for them because they have gotten so much control. Almazer's pushed on forward, but he can't find the kill. Just not looking the right direction. But there's still some good utility on the side of Forza, but will it even matter? I don't think it will. NBK just continues to destroy people through smokes. XC Power, he has to play this like a CT flawlessly, just defending that bomb site, and he'll find 2 kills, looking for more, swings out onto the side here. Will he get taken down, though? There's a player that's pushed up at oil. Valde is just playing in the smoke, and he takes off his head. Flit remains. He's able to take down Valde, but he isn't able to take out any more. So Alexi B will be able to find the defuse there. Forza off of a pretty cool little strategy there. Are not able to convert, and you know, I think that was probably one of their best opportunities.
Yeah. NBK just comes in, sprays 2 people through the smoke. Look at that, man. Beautiful stuff from him. Gorgeous. And long-range sprays are really difficult with the AK. Don't forget, especially because those last few bullets, those are really annoying to get.
Yeah, I think he got both of those within like 5 or 6 bullets each, though. So
yeah,
good control from him, as we've been seeing. Face crack, presses on forward. He might find an opening through this smoke, actually, and it looks like exactly what happened with Flit that last time. Oh, he wants to go for it, and it's just not going to happen. Alexi just turns at the perfect timing, and it will just be Flit in a 1v5. I can't blame Face Crack, honestly, because he knows that his team needed an absolute miracle. If he just gets the one, he'll probably just get traded, as MPK finds the last player there. And, you know, he wants the hero play. He wants to find, you know, 2 players lining up and maybe get a third off of the confusion, you know, enable his teammates. And Alexi B, that's one of those moments where I'm a little confused. Even Alexi B looked that direction, but he knows, I guess, it's a possibility. And it's with perfect timing.
I don't know what to say, man. At this point,
just stare in awe at them.
Yeah,
just how much of a triumph this CT side is for OG.
It's beautiful. Well, they now leads through, finds a second one as well. That's ridiculous. That is just everything going wrong for these poor Forze fellows. The crops are being harvested, the bread is being made, it's being fed to all of OG. They're having a feast at this point. They are but simple farmers, but simple farmers can have a good life. Unfortunately, sometimes Jerry comes in and headshots one of them. But the 3v2 is going to have Jerry fall, and Almaz be left in a lonely position with his cheetah skin deagle.
It's actually like a dragon or a koi thing. I forgot what it is. It's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool skin though. It's kind of like Japanese inspired.
Okay.
It'd be a miracle though if he's able to do.
Definitely.
Yeah. If he finds a couple kills, it'd be nice for him and his confidence, but this looks pretty impossible given that there's only 25 seconds. The bomb's on the other side of the yard, and he will find one. Okay, all right, taking him down, but there's a player in heaven, and he should not be long for this world. Bomb's still not even close to him. Alexi B finally peeks out, and Alexi B, he knows he doesn't even have to pick up that op. They have so much money, they would rather just keep the AKs into the upcoming round. Love that kind of awareness from him. Love this kind of spray from Valde. This looked kind of random, I'm not gonna lie. That just was one of his last bullets. Just okay, right, that's just gonna hit. But when you're shooting fish in a barrel, you will oftentimes come up with something. A trout at that, a Russian one.
Oh, yum. Freshwater fish really is the best. I don't actually know if trout is freshwater, but Mantu takes down Almaza, and Asa will be next to fall. Mantu actually misses a shot, which means that Flit can get a second, but Flit will finally be felled. Mantu and NBK really need to fight this out, but XC Powers actually brought it back to a 2v2. It's one of the few rare instances where Forze has looked like they have a chance in the round early on. But Mantu, I think he might have just finished this off. Yeah. He's a good lad. He's a good lad.
He's not bad. He's not bad at all. 16-3 scoreline for Mantu. Impressive round. Even though we saw him with one, he didn't miss a second. Good stuff from him. Yeah, and Forza, another really big opportunity missed for them. I mean, you know, I don't know. My take that Forza, Kova, the comparison right now, Kova did better, actually.
Yeah. Maybe we didn't give them enough credit, actually, in hindsight.
Well, I think they won the pistol, though. So
something.
Yeah, it is something. Force has been able to accomplish nothing, but they might have a chance here. That's a great nade from Valde. It's able to take down Almazur. And finally, a man advantage in a late round situation for Forza here. That nade, though, might just connect and take out a player. And Alexi B is already on the flank. Flit just at upper B by himself. Mantu, again, finding a 3K in the round. 19-3, man. Will it happen? Will it happen? Now the question has to be asked. Don't say what will happen. Just answer, will it happen? Don't jinx it. Do you think it'll happen?
Yes. Why
It'll
not?
happen?
Yes, it'll happen.
It'll happen. Okay. All right. Exit power here, looking to not let it happen as he fights from T-Con. Alexi B actually taking a different approach here, will fight early on in ladder. It's usually been Issa in this position. This time around, OG aren't going for the usual play. I feel like Alexi B might get a little bit too aggressive here. I feel like he might just feel himself a little bit too much. The molly comes out, he takes a little bit of damage, going for even more. Kind of what I was talking about. Thankfully, it doesn't cost his life, but it costs a lot of HP.
I mean, another flashbang, and that should be a easy pick onto Jerry. But let's wait and see. Jerry has cleared it out, backed off. Alexi has done the same. Now, though, does look like it's a B site where the bomb is destined. Alexi ready to rotate over at the earliest convenience. Valde still in possession of a Molotov, and Mantu is actually quite far away, but Ace has got a flashbang. This could be very important. Valde doesn't get the molly out in time, and Facecrack and Exi Power are able to get one apiece. Issa, although he's able to come through with another, it is a 2v3. NBK and Mantu. The reminding is that you can jinx something without referring to it directly. Mantu.
Well, there's a chance. They're going to go for this too.
Of course. NBK, I believe NBK. Can you go through? Can you get anything over here? 1v3. And there you go. We've jinxed it. It's not going to be a 16-0. Maui, I blame you for this.
Darn it. I tried so hard to not jinx it. But there we go. One round on the board for Forza. It's like in baseball, which I'm sure many of these European viewers are very familiar with. That when you say, when a player is, or when a pitcher is approaching a perfect game, you just can't say that. No one can say it. None of the announcers can't say it. The players don't say it. I'm sure the other team doesn't even want to bring up the idea of it because they might be on the receiving end, but it won't happen here. OG won't pick up the 16-0. They're showing why they like Train. I was a little bit, I was not completely convinced when they played Kova, but now that they dismantled Forza in the way that they did, you know, pick Train all you want if you start on the CT side. But Forza will have a CT side here. Oh, who am I kidding? OG, I mean, I feel like it's just a matter of time at this point.
Yeah, it does seem that way. Let's see. Let's see. You never know. Stranger things have happened. Jerry. Ooh. All right. Good start. Valde will not be allowed entrance onto the A-bomb site. Jerry with the one bullet stopper. Face crack in the meanwhile. Juggling it out with Issa. Shall not be given a kill. Flit backs off as well. They've actually found quite a lot of map control. NBK with a great headshot onto Jerry. Can't finish him off yet, but he follows up with another one. Facecrack does trade. Jerry will get another 2. But a 2v4 where, you know what, OG might just end up losing their second round of the game. Alexi B and Issa do not want that to happen, though, as they both quickly chiming in with a headshot apiece and still have possession of the bomb. Jerry being as low as he is now becomes a factor. Alexi B, will he find Exi Power? He sees him. Can he get the deal? No, he can't. The bomb is dropped. Issa comes in from behind. 40 seconds left on the clock. He's playing the wrong range angle, and Exi Power will win it out 14-2. Very close, probably closer than it should have been. Put a B250 in Issa's hands, and that round is gone, though.
Yeah, or if he just picks up a USB off the ground.
Yeah.
It's a shame, but OG... They probably shouldn't have been in that one the way that they were. That was kind of insane the way that they came back into that round. And they will opt to not force into this one. Issa, off of the kills he found in the previous round, though, will be able to afford a deagle and still have a buy into the upcoming one. But it will be Alexi B. We just saw NBK do this, right? Or no, wait. Was it NBK?
I think it was in the previous game, yeah.
Oh, Valde. No, Valde did in the previous game.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
In play. I really like that little play that they run, but they actually are somehow finding a bomb plan in this round. Alexi B might actually be able to find a kill as well. Mantu with the MP5 actually is able to take down face crack right there, but he's trapped and he just can't decide between reloading, picking up the gun, or switching to the Glock. I feel like you just gotta choose one and stick to it, Montu. But
in all fairness, I understand. On one end, you just had the Glock lose you around. On the other end, there's the MP5, and then there's a third gun on the ground. So
like all the options felt pretty bad.
Like they're all options that you lose with.
Yeah. So regardless, OG though they found a bomb plant, and that's a big victory for them because now it'll allow Montu to bust out the op in this round, and very good utility on the side of OG. You can see that the only nade that they're really missing is probably a Molotov for Montu here, and so the complete play will probably come out, and they have vastly superior weaponry, all things considered. 2 FAMASs on the side of Forza will not be a pretty sight when they are staring down the barrels of AKs or the op from Montu.
Alexi's got great positioning over here. They don't know where he is. He's rushed down Speedway, finds that first kill, expecting another peek to come through. And he wouldn't be wrong because there's an op right behind him. So the second he moves, he's dead. He has managed to keep people. Oh my god, he's kept them with him for so long. And he's done so much damage. The B-bomb side is theirs. And he gets 2 kills, all off the back of Alexi's play.
Yeah, that was insane. Alexi B in these defaults on Nuke, he was such a pest at door, and this time around it's Olaf actually that he just kind of makes his office. It's like Wayne Gretzky behind the net to continue with these sports references that I'm sure European fans are very keen on. But you know, it's just just kind of makes like a spot that not many people can look that good look very darn good. So Flit and Exipower will be able to take a couple guns into the upcoming round, but around them it won't be the prettiest buy, and OG will have 12 possible match points consecutively here. You know, get your bets in on Forza right now, boys. This is max value if I've ever seen it. Just kidding. Do not take that as betting advice.
Don't listen to Maui Snake for betting advice ever. Anything he says, he means in joke. This is no. Please don't listen to him about this. Molotov goes deep. Exi Power peeks out. Great kill onto NBK to start things off. But you really have to say, it's not the best in the world when immediately after Flit will fall. Unfortunately, even after NBK is no longer on the CT side, he's still the king of IV, and his teammates want to uphold that tradition. Good angle from Almaza. You can find a great shot with the Max 7, so maybe this is the angle you're waiting for. Valde, though, beautifully played. Jiggles out the corner perfectly and then pre-fires it. So, advantage once again in the court of OG. Dear God. They're reading them everywhere. They're just reading them everywhere. 4v2, Jerry and Exi Power, nothing to be done about it over here. You really have just said goodbye, and Valde will do just that. 16-3, what a performance coming out from OG. Team Origami really taking it home.
Team Origami. I haven't heard that for a minute. I feel like that was often said when that lineup was first formed in Dota, maybe at best. Or did you just come up with that on the spot, or what?
No, I just came up with that.
Oh, okay, all right. No, yeah, well, they folded Forza like a crane though in that game. That was just masterclass performance on the CT side of actually on Train. That was so good. Both times they played Train today, those were very impressive performances. OG looked unstoppable. Forza only picking up the final round of that first half, and it was a very desperate affair. Just feels like they have outlined a lot of what they need to do on the CT side of Train, and they just suffocate you with that. They know that if you're not going for the retake, they can just start pushing, and when they start pushing, you just are in such a uncomfortable position. And I think a little stroke of luck might have gone their way with all of the pushes kind of working out, that they didn't get caught, that Forza never waited for them. But at the same time, that's very good game sense on the side of OG, and really a pretty dominant 2-0, I would say.
Honestly, what impressed me the most about Train was just the fact that Alexi B would regularly predict where Forza would be or wouldn't be, and that would just be it. He's like, yeah, Forza's not going to be on the B side in the first 20 seconds, guys. It's okay. We can have 5 people on 8. And then they're just not. Like, those reads coming through, Look, man, I always have this thing in the back of my head. I don't know how much in-game leaders are necessarily doing unless it's a super structured team. I know how much this in-game leader is doing, and it's a whole lot.
The thing is that Alexi B is just such a good player in his own right.
Yeah,
He even if he weren't in game leading this team, he's still fragging all the time, and I'm sure that his calls on top of that are probably making his play a little bit worse in a sense. You know, like it's hard to communicate constantly as you're trying to keep up your individual performance, and yet he still does very well. He still performs at a very high level, at least at this tier. He has at times at higher levels of Counter-Strike not shown like he's a star player by any means, but he's still
yeah,
very serviceable by all metrics. And OG though just sweep Forza in this one. They beat them on their map pick with a very strong T side of Nuke, and that just kind of fell into place that they would continue with that. I feel like OG they haven't been playing a lot recently, but you can tell that their prep work has really taken them up a notch in some maps that they didn't used to play too much. Like Train, for example, they don't have the most wins on that one, but now they look like I mean they haven't really been tested T side, I guess, but they can do
yeah.
no wrong on CT.
Yeah, CT side was really, really good. That's the thing about Alexi B. I think you nailed it, which is that up until you're fighting up against the top 8 teams in the world, I would say he is a player. Like, he is
Yeah.
genuinely present on the server in ways that most in-game leaders wouldn't be able to do so. So, of course, when you foray into the realm of the top 8, that's where you're going to be expecting him to be more influencing the team on the basis of the reads. And that's not necessarily even because of the mechanical ability, maybe not being able to match up. It's also because of the strain that is on you to make the read, to adjust to these micro plays that these teams are going to be making, which will give you further insight into the tendency within that particular round. There's just a lot more to do as an in-game leader, in my opinion. Now, obviously, I've never been there. Don't think I will be, hopefully, unless Counter-Strike dies. But that is just one of those things that you have to keep in mind for in-game leaders as they go higher up. It's not necessarily the mechanical ability that will always be degrading. But with that being said, I think that's about all from us. I don't think you have anything else to talk about for OG other than, wow, they're very good.
Well, just one last point, just because the
Sure.
HLTV stats have updated. Also, gotta give a big shout out to Montu. He had the best
Oh,
rating
yeah.
overall in the series, and I mean, he's a player that Tea Time and I casted back at Meisterschaft when Alternate Attacks won that season. Montu, he was their best player, right? Yeah, like, that's just,
100%.
yeah. So we've been actually watching this guy for quite a while now. When he was dominating domestic German leagues, even though he is a UK player, which is interesting, but he was on a German team at the time. And so he had a great game. Issa as well, also just hitting a lot of great shots.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And, if we're giving out plaudits, NBK, Ivy Control. Ooh, good stuff from him right there. Really, really good. That being said, though, Home Sweet Home is not done. And if you're a fan of Forze, neither are they. We still have 2 best of 3s to go. The first one will be Kova going up against... Who was it again, actually? Copenhagen Flames. Copenhagen Flames. Yes, of course. Thank you to the producer for bailing me out of an awkward situation. But Copenhagen Flames versus Kova. And then the second best of 3 will be the winner of that to go up against Forze. They decided the second team will be to make it into the playoffs. If you are unsure about who to support, then don't worry. We still have 4 more teams coming up tomorrow to be able to see who the last 2 will be in the playoff finals. With that being said, though, this is tea time. That was Maui Snake, and we're signing off. See you guys in an hour for more Home Sweet Home Cup action with other people casting it. Probably should have made that smoother.